What's up, all? This is Itinerant / Todd. Here I am attempting to play a game of Battlegroup. I swear I did a video of this, me trying to do this one other time. I can't find it anywhere. So here I am trying it again on my new table and with my camera that I'm able to set up here. It's okay. There is some obvious hot glare here down here on this side. I am not that pale, though not too far away from that. It's because I got this massively hot light here. If we sort of, when I turn that down. Actually, that doesn't look bad. It's just harder for me to see in here. That's interesting. Still got that hot spot though. Huh, interesting. Adjust to the light is still adjust up. I like the lighting on that when it's like that. I'll compromise a little bit here, but anyway, this is not my final setup for the camera. I'm going to think of a couple different ways. My wife's a lighting designer, so I'm going to try this out. If you're watching, chat. I don't have anybody watching yet. It's late on a Sunday, so I probably won't get too many people. Sorry, I'm getting out of here so I can get to my chat screen. And here I am live. See if I can hear myself. I got one watching already. So if you're up, chat with me. Let me know. I'll come check the chat occasionally. And I'm going to try to attempt these rules. Let me know if you can hear me. Let's do all that. And I'm listening. Oh, I got my headphones on. Let's check it. Look here. Just a second. Sorry, it always takes. Okay, that doesn't sound too bad. Sounds like I'm in a big room, but it's not too bad. Dan, what's up, Dan? Dan, have you played Battlegroup before? If you have, help me out. I need to mute that. That'll drive me crazy. Okay, so I'm going to attempt Battlegroup. Battlegroup is these rules here. Pretty small book. I know I played this at least solo once. Maybe I just didn't film it. Couldn't find a video on my channel, which is silly. I got 2 people watching. You know how it is. Let me know who you are so I can chat with you. If you know this game, help me out. And I'm open to suggestions. I'm playing a game out of a scenario out of Operation Market Garden, Campaign Market Garden. So it's the attack on Son, the I believe 82nd Airborne. It's a fairly small scenario, actually. A lot of stuff on the table here. So it's water there on that side. So basically, let's see if we're in it to the table. Oh man, you can't see that at all. I apologize. Oh boy, that is. Whew, I'm gonna stop doing that. Well, okay, so Dan, that's cool. You haven't played, that's cool. Don't let me turn you off of the game. Seriously, there are a lot of really good, Acceptable Casualties has some great videos. He spends lots of battle reports, History to War Games. I'm sorry, all of a sudden. History to War Games podcast does a lot, and then there's also there's one where Warwick Kincaid comes on, the creator of it, goes on and talks. There's some good videos and good podcasts on it. So definitely hit those up, Dan, if you want to learn, or anybody who wants to learn that game. Anyway, so basically what's happening is the Americans are landing here. They have to go in here and take the guns and destroy them. Let me look at the bolt action thing real quick here. It's a little confusing trying to learn a game with a scenario that's not really standard, but you know, why mess around? Oh, shoot, I didn't see that either. So I'm going to roll a D3 to see how many Americans enter. So let's do a quick. So I'm not going to move the camera around for sake of everything. I got 3 squads of elite paratroop. I've got 4 medium machine guns teams. Got a light mortar. I've got a command and then a forward headquarters. So I got 2 officers in battle group. That'll determine how many orders I get per turn. The Germans have, this is an infantry gun, but I don't have the model built yet, but it's supposed to be an 88. It's an 88. I'm assuming they rolled out because they figured out the Americans were attacking from the north and not the south. That's south. I see that camera's crooked. These are 2 88 Flak 36s on the table that were normally pointing south because they expected the attack to come from the south. I will use a little dice or something to indicate which way they're turned. I glued them down. I regret doing that now. These are not finished either. I made these little dugouts, so again, I want to get a Dremel and kind of fix that up so it'll sink down in there. I've got two crew down here, but they're manned by 7 people. All these are manned by 7 people. This is a Pack 48. Those things are crazy in both games. There's an infantry squad here and a machine gun here. The command unit, 2 light machine gun teams, 2 squads are all off table, and they will come on with the D3 at the beginning of each turn, beginning with turn 2, when they come on the board. So if I roll 1, no one comes on that turn. If I roll a 2, 2 units will come on the board. If I roll 3, 3 units will come on the board. This is a little different than Battlegroup, I think, but I'm just doing it this. And I just saw that the U.S. attacker rolled a D3. Yeah, great, good start. 1, that's going to come up via a jump rule. I don't have Battlegroup's jump rules, so again, sorry, Dan, and those who want to learn the game. So I'm going to determine a point where they land. I will roll a directional die. So it looks like it's about 6 inches, and it's about 1 foot by 2 foot. All right. So my deployment area is about 6 inches, about here, about 1 foot, about 2 feet that way. Oh, gee, I could go all the way over there. There is an infantry squad in here. I know they can't fire. Americans wouldn't know that, of course. I could get right up there, so I almost want to deploy in here and just get up there quick. I'm not really sure how they're going to destroy the guns in the game. I don't have all that figured out, but the so let me put my point of insertion. I might as well put them right here. It doesn't matter in the woods, kind of a little bit abstracted here, so normally you wouldn't jump in the woods, of course, but why not? I'll make sure that's not too far in. Roll the directional die. It's cocked, but it's that direction. Let's just roll a D6. Probably am, aren't I? Yeah, of course. And a D6. And a handy dandy 4 inches that direction. So right there. So then how I'm going to do it here, Battlegroup air landing rules are will be in their reissue of their D-Day book. You know, it's funny, they're not in the Battlegroup, this Market Garden book. I don't think I showed this book yet. I'm using this book as well for the Army lists. They have scenarios in here, but their Somme battle actually occurs after the U.S. takes this, and there's a counterattack. So I'll play that one next. Anyway, so let me look here. They have air landing rules. It's a little weird. I don't think they have air landing rules here. They really should. But they have them in D-Day, and I believe they have them in not Torch, but their Western Desert, or I'm sorry, in their Desert book, because that, or Torch, what is it? Torch in Tunisia? Tunisia, because it covers Crete. It's kind of funny that they don't have them in here, actually. This battle is all airdrop. I wonder if I just missed it when I reading through. They got some great pictures in here. I don't know if you can see that. No, not really. Sorry for the glare, everybody. It's great pictures. It's a 250/1 rolling pass. Oh, man, it's great. There's a Stug here, assault gun sitting. Oh man, good stuff. Bren gun camera. All right, so let's look here. Can't rename. A lot of history in this book, which is okay. Here's a picture of a dug-in area. They just dug straight in. Looks like there's some pipes there. There's a lot of. Okay. It's really strange. They don't have a landing. All right. Well, they don't. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to use the bolt action rules. Anyway, in bolt action, they come in pinned. I'm not going to do that because if you're pinned in battle group, you have to take a battle marker and rally them. That I don't think we want to start that way. That's going to be 3 battle markers. Oh, I got to get my battle markers. Shoot. Oh boy, where are those? Oh boy. Oh boy. I've redone my room here and I'm still learning where I put everything. It's a little embarrassing. There they are. Battle counters tell you impact your battle rating. So the U.S. battle rating, I think, is 27, and the Germans are 24. The Germans have many more points, which is interesting. So again, this is a learning game, so it's going to be slow. This is a very small game. This is what they would call a squad level. It's like 250 points versus 250, we'll say. The Germans do have more points, but it's because these 88s are very expensive. They don't have a lot of battle rating. So battle counters are just these. They make some really cool wood ones. Man, light really blows out there when I'm really close. Sorry about that. I'll work on the lighting, but they're just little counters. Sorry, I covered that. Nope. Okay. It's got like a 3, a 4, an airplane. That's how air comes into the game. And then let's say I draw a 2, then that's 2 away from my battle rating. And it's like wearing me down. Once I get to 0, you're done. So the airbornes have a little bit more. They're on the attack. It makes sense. The Germans are going to be hidden in building, a couple of them anyway. The Germans are going to come in a fairly random manner. Now I just got to find a cup to put these in. Oh, there's my cup. The problem with them right now, they're just a thick paper. Some of them, they stick together and it's hard to draw them out. They have some cool ones. The podcast, the History of War Games podcast, has had some made with the guy Historique that are like buttons. And also, there are wood ones I've seen. And the cool thing is you can change your scenario design by what you put in here. Like if you don't want the 5s in there, because this is a small game, a 5 will really take you down. I draw 4 5s and the Germans are done. No, 5 5s, sorry. But I don't even know. There's a certain number. So there's like 96 counters, and there's like more 1s. I think there's 0s, but more 1s, fewer 2s, fewer 3s, fewer 4s, fewer 5s. So there's not as many 5s. Right. So there's that. But to rally, you have to draw one of these because you take a little hit, obviously, but then you rally your guys. Like I said, I'm learning this as I go. So that's where they're going to deploy. So I'm going to put. So then what you do next, I'll put the directional die there so I remember. See, what would I do? Would I deploy them? So in the book, you go an inch away. So I dropped my, I guess I needed to determine who I was going to drop here. Yeah, that's interesting. So in the battle group, the machine gun teams are separate from the main squad. People complain about that, but it seems to work out all right. So I think I want to put down a squad. I want to put down a lot of men more than I put down. And so then an inch apart. So I'll just do like a base apart. So this will kind of indicate like scatter. And I'll just go back. Now in bolt action, they take a pin. Like I said, I don't want to do that yet kind of play testing this a little bit. I'm only allowed to bring 1 unit in this first turn. So then what you do is you roll. Find your cheat sheet. This comes out of the back here. I'd hate to tear up a book, but they have a new rule manual out too. Yeah, that didn't come out of there. Let's see if it comes out here. Again, I don't like to. So, okay, they have an interesting philosophy on their books. They don't really reprint them much. So, like, so I have Barbarossa in the little rule book. You'll never find Kursk. They say you can buy it online, but they don't reprint their books. So, like, there's a walked on vine. So if I decide I like this game, I may or may not be able to get all the books, and they have these cool data cards. I may or may not get that either. An interesting philosophy. They put some of them on PDF. But when people ask if they're going to reprint, they pretty much go, I don't know. Maybe not. Let's see here. So like in the back of this Barbarossa book, they actually make it so you can tear out these two. Golly, that light is terrible. They make it so you can tear out these nice big counter sheets. I printed some off on some cardstock, and you can pull out their quick reference sheet. So there's Follow the Reich, Overlord. I don't know. I want to like this one. I struggle with the building the list. Let's move on. Let's do positive. All right. So first, I roll to see how many orders I get. Again, I need to find a local area person that plays this. So I'm going to roll 1d6 plus I have 2 officers. So you roll in a squad level game, which is based on 350 points. You roll 1d6, and that's how many orders you're going to get. So let's see what I get. Well, I get 5 orders plus my 2 officers. I get 7 orders. But in this case, it doesn't really matter because I have 1 unit on board. If your officers die, you lose it. And there was a little bit of a question whether if they're on board, you get it, but I think so. Okay, so we're going to go with that. So now they're going to move. Question is, I want to get these guys up together. Now, this is a unit. All these guys here are a unit. Oh, you can kind of see them. So they're kind of on the bright side of the table here. But you still have to move them. And so they only move 5 inches. So I wonder if I'm kind of having to, maybe instead of a pin, they're having to kind of catch up. I need to check if they need to be within a certain distance of each other. I think they do. This game's got a lot of abstractions, I've noticed. I mean, it's not too complicated. So, we'll make the forests. The woods don't really do anything as far as movement of people. It does customers, vehicles. No vehicles in this. Trying to keep it somewhat simple. So the infantry can't fire in the first turn, and they can't see. I'm not really sure this 1 inch, or maybe I should make him a pin. Maybe the 1 inch thing doesn't really matter in this case because there's going to be some quiet times here. I bet there's a few videos on my channel like this where it's quiet, me looking at stuff. Many different orders you can issue. Yeah, maybe I do pin them, and maybe their first thing is rally. But they don't get to do anything this turn. Like, what's recover? Well, they don't have that as an order. Now that's recover vehicles. Tactical coordination. Only unit with a senior officer special rule can be given the tactical coordination order. The command unit can then do nothing this turn, but may nominate a friendly pinned unit to attempt to remove its pin marker. Take a battle counter. The pinned unit must then pass a unit experience test as given under infantry close assaults. And these are elites, so it's 2 pluses. I assume that command has to be on board. I'm kind of having to really think through this. I'll have to talk to people about how to, since I don't know the rules that well. So I'm still taking a battle counter, but it allows your officer to rally during the turn. I wonder if that means a unit can then, the command unit can do nothing, but may nominate a friendly. I wonder if that unit can then do something. It's an interesting question. I need to write that question down. I also need to work on the way my stuff is organized here, so I don't trip on cords, which I just did. Okay. So tactical coordination, can the unit then do something? I'm writing a question down here. Senior officer on board, I'm sure. Seems kind of silly to ask that, but. And unit cohesion. When I do this, I think, why am I playing this story? Because I'm going to roll dice. Oh, and I'm going to do this for maybe an hour. How long have I been going? Probably an hour. Be like, yeah, that's all I got done. Oh, tabletop CP. Oh, tabletop CP. I thought you played. Well, I thought tabletop CP. I thought you had Battlegroup videos. Do you not have Battlegroup videos, tabletop CP? Well, so it's called squad, but really a squad, when it says squad level, it really means a platoon. I mean, you have to have a minimum of a squad plus supports, but to get up to the, 350 points, I've only got 250 here. I put a gun in here, a tank or something, that'd get me up to maybe 350. But essentially, a squad is a platoon level game. A platoon actually has 3 platoons, all that. So yeah, you can play it at that level. Just in this case, I have 3 squads per side. All right, so tabletop CP, by the way, good channel. Very, very, very good channel. Go check it out. So I think I will put them all here together. I got to think through that, but I'm going to put them all here together. Half of them have to be in the woods to make a difference, so I won't do that. And I'm going to use tactical coordination. I'm going to take my first battle counter, and I'm going to roll a die. I have to get a 2+ to take the pin off. The Germans can move. Oh, wow. All right, so the Americans took 4. Cool thing is you don't normally tell your opponent this information. So that's kind of cool. So I would, if I was playing against somebody, they would know I just took 4 battle rating. And so my total BR is, oh, shoot. Germans are 24, US is 27. So tabletop CP, thanks. I hear it's a good game for higher level formations. Oh, tabletop CP, you've played Chain of Command and Bolt Action, not a battle group. I'll tell you why I'm trying this one. Well, first of all, just watching good channels and listening to podcasts, they make it sound really cool. And I played Chain of Command. It's a little harder to solo. I don't need to solo much. I can find opponents, but I like doing this type of thing where it's a Sunday night and I would just want to get out and roll some dice. Chain of Command is a flippin' brain burner. But anyway, so that's he's got other games on tabletop. Tabletop CP also has what is it? He has lots of games, but I'm thinking of Shark Practice 2. Been going. He does pretty good about going through campaigns, so that's cool. That's Sharp Practice is one I might consider someday, but kind of sticking to World War II, trying to really concentrate on building these units up. Though I'm being tempted by Lord of the Rings, let's not talk about that. Okay, so and then can I roll a 2+? I do. So these guys aren't pinned anymore. I can take that up there. I'm going to say they can do a command and they can do something, so they can move. They only move 5 inches. That's not very much. I would love to move more than that. It may be better with more units. What people complain about being small units is that, so I'm only got 27 and 24 battle rating, so it won't take long before I'm worn down, but some people maybe take out the 5s and 4s, or maybe just leave a couple 4s in there, but then it's mainly 1s and 2s. So you're taking down your units more slowly. All right, so I'm going to issue my first order. So I can't run or anything like that. I can only move 5 inches. That's going to leave me in the open. So I know there's a unit in there. They can't fire me on this first turn, but this will be the end of the first turn. 5 inches is jack squat. So 5 inches would get me in here. I'd be in the woods. I'd at least get cover. It pretty much goes where the Americans do everything first, then the Germans. I don't believe there's an initiative roll, so the Americans would go first the next turn. So I could actually take that building. I wonder if I could. Oh boy, I can't really get in there. I could, so I can touch that building, so I could get in there in close assault. You have to be within 5 inches close up. I think I'm going to do that. Let's quit messing around. Let's go 5 inches. And move that guy there. And move all my dudes in here. Now, the Germans could move and leave. So basically, I think like 50% of your unit needs to be within the cover. Basically, if you're within within this inch, you get the cover. I'll have to look at that, but so they get the cover of that. All right, so that's that. I think this first turn, how much is it now? So the question is the Germans. So that's it for the Americans. That's all they can do. The Germans are a squad. They only have 1 officer, so they roll 1 die and add +1. So you're always going to get 1 order. Well, actually, you'll always get 2 orders because you always have unless your officer is killed, you have an officer plus the roll of a d6. So they get a 2, so it's 3 commands. So, all right, so here's the deal. I need to figure out about turning guns. So these all have fixed. I'm going to assume that the Germans. No, I'm not going to assume anything. I'm going to say one of the guns was turned one direction, one's turned the other direction. Fixed. You've got to be able to turn guns, I would think. So pardon me as I. Transport. That's moving. All right, so let's look at. Well, in bolt action, they have a. In bolt action, they have a fixed rule. There's a firing arc. Got that whole 90-degree arc in front of it. So like those are anti-aircraft 88s. I would think they could turn. But I don't mind making it that they have to turn it and take some time to do that. But there's not really a command to do that. But so you kind of have to look under the special weapons section here. Or the infantry weapons. The weapons one. Mortars. Okay, this is interesting. Where do they talk about fixed weapons? This is more of an indication of me than the rule book, though I don't believe there's an index. A big no-no in my book. Or not in my book, as the case may be. So they have rockets and airplanes and aircraft and engineers. Elite. They can always re-roll a morale check and also a superior chance to pass an amateur assault order test or beyond the Call of Duty test is required to take. Bridging, bridging teams, assault troops, officer, one-man turret. Huh, well, this is interesting. I do not see something like fixed. Let's see, recovery scout, sniper, unique, senior officer. Oh, once per game, a senior officer can reroll one of the order dice. It's cool. So in my case, just a one. So if I roll a one, I can reroll it. Oh, that's right. This game has you roll from the number of units to arrive from reserve, as detailed in the scenario. We're using theirs. They roll this die. Okay, that's cool. All right. So they have to be on the tabletop. So I would, that guy's got to be able to, has to be on board, I would think. Don't you all think? I think I cheated there. Okay, well, that's not helping either. So there are no unit special rules there. Sorry you'll have to hear this, but maybe it helps. I don't know. Morale, rounds complete, lockable rocket launchers. Fire. They have a lot of cool pictures in these books. They really do. Aim fire with armor-piercing shells. Modifiers. I'm going to say you move. I'm going to quit looking. I'm going to say you move because I think there is a maneuver and fire rule. So yes. So you're going to fire. You're going to take a -1 penalty for that. So now the question is, what can I see? Because I'm tempted to, so how many orders do I have? I need to keep track of that. I have 3 orders and I have a lot of units on board. I have my medium machine gun team over there. They can't see over there. That gun can't see over there. This infantry squad could see in here, but they can't fire. Question is, do they want to move? Because these guys can't do anything. They just moved. Oh, that's right. If I just maneuver top speed, I can move twice my distance, and I could have reached that building. So let's think about that. So now let's go to the close assault. So I'm backing up here, but that's the benefit of playing by myself. Let's go to do close assault. There is an index in the book. There's a table of contents, just not an index. I think I said an index, but there's a. Oh goodness, I'm getting tired. It's Sunday night. It's time to go to work the next day. It's a school night. I'm working a little bit from home here, so I'm not gonna. I can for the first part of the day. Oh goodness, where is the pictures here? The models they do 20 millimeter in this. Oh boy, man, they're models. The guys know how to do it. And there's 60 pages of rules, but it's a tiny book. I need to get back to my screen there. Appreciate you all watching, whoever's watching. I know this is a little bit of a slog here, but maybe you're painting or reading or clipping counters or doing something here that you can do that. So I have 3 watchers. So I have Dan, Tabletop CP, and who's that third one? The third secret person. Infantry Close Assaults 27. Shall we? There's an order that allows infantry to use close assault the enemy using bayonets. As their most famous submachine gun has a firepower increase to 2. You don't really have. Well, I do have a bar. I gotta get better models for bars. Oh, what I want to do is get a little bit better models and then also distinguish them like with a rock or something. So I think I can attack them. Oh, when an infantry unit uses the infantry close assault order to get within 5 inches of an enemy unit, special rules are used, detailed below. Close assault is also used for. All right. Well, so I can get within 5. Wait, that's so weird. It's like on page 27, then it's like in a different. What? What? Call of Duty. It's not all the rules. I need to find a local person to play this to help me learn it, play through it faster. Wait, is that all you do? Okay, wow. I mean, look at that. I mean, this is like simple. It's like not even half a page. There's a really cool picture of an SU-76 is attacking, probably propaganda, but whatever. Okay. I'm able to get within 5 inches of an enemy. I don't have any submachine guns, but I do have a bar. All infantry squads and weapon teams are assumed to have grenades. The attacking unit can add an extra D6 to its total rate of fire as men begin to post and throw grenades into enemy positions. This is likely to be deadly for both sides. An infantry unit engaging the enemy at 5 inches range or less adds. Okay, so I wasn't within 5 inches or less, so I'm not going to double. That's what I mean. I might want to wait because then I could double all my stuff. So I could get within, because I'm not going to maneuver and fire. You have to spot in this game. Oh, I wonder if you have to spot to close assault. Yep, observation's automatic. So I want to get within that. So, okay, so as the German, so I don't want to attack this one because it doesn't really matter. Because I want to, what I'm trying to do is get within 5, and then I'll be able to roll double my attacks, I guess because you're so close. Otherwise, I could have close assaulted this turn, but I wouldn't get this. This is like an infantry unit gauging the enemy at 5-inch range or less adds up its total rate of fire value as normal, including the extra D6 for throwing grenades and bold individuals charging in. Bayonet. Observation is automatic. Such boldness is. Oh, I don't know what the difference is there. Both sides make cover saves. If both unit sides are inside the building, they both count as in hard cover. Units may not fall back from it. Okay, so this is bad. They're in hard cover. So they would get that hard cover. I don't understand this 5-inch thing here. When an infantry unit uses the infantry close assault order to get
to within 5 inches of an enemy unit. A special rules are used. Detail below. I thought you had to make a roll.
There's not reaction. There's ambush fire. So yeah, I'll probably want to put all my guys on like reserve, move, or ambush fire. Beyond the Call of Duty, tactical coordination, and infantry close assaults. Okay, so it does not say that there. It's so funny. I mean, there's not a whole lot there. You kind of have to make some stuff go in here, but there's a lot more written on the thing here. Oh, anyway, I have to roll a dice to see if I make it to 5. So of course I do because it's 2+. They're all regular units, 3 pluses. So I'm gonna do this. They're gonna be in hard cover. So let's look at what happens here. So all my rifles are 1. I don't have any submachine guns. I probably would. Normally you'd have a leader with a sub. I do have a sub, so we'll count that. So let's pull all the dice out. So I have 7 rifles. Someone's walking upstairs. I have 7 rifles. I have a submachine gun with 2. I have a light machine gun with 2. I have a bar. So he's hip to his hip. He's got the bar. He's going after it. So that's a lot of dice there. These guys, I believe, just have 5. Do they have any subs? I'm going to model as they are. Yep, 1 sub. Well, I think they have several subs. So 2 and 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So 4. They also get hard cover. So it's probably dumb. Probably only want to close assault when you're not there for a reason. And they have a submachine gun there. But only when used with an infantry assault order. I've got to think the submachine gun on the Germans would also get that. Oh, the attacking unit can add an extra D6 to its total rate of fire. Oh, okay, cool. Another one. Chuck them through the window. So it's 6 dice versus double the dice. All right. Well, so they're going to get saves on 4 pluses. All right. Well, let's roll the Germans. They're hitting on 2 pluses. Okay. 1 miss. So now saves. I save on 4 pluses. Nope. I save on 6 pluses. 0 saves. Does that mean I lost 5 guys? Sheesh. Okay.
Sheesh. Okay, that was probably a dumb move. We might back that up. Oh, that was a 6. So 2 pluses. That. Oh my gosh, man. So 8 hits, but they save on 4 pluses now. I rolled 4 pluses, so they saved. So the Americans took. Yeah, that was a bad roll for the Germans. The Germans took 5 casualties. The Americans took 4. All right. The Germans are gone. They're wiped out. So that was bad rolling. They rolled 4 1s and a 3 out of those dice. So the Germans are eliminated in the first turn. So I think I kind of messed up there a little bit, but face those guys the other direction. I don't think I'm doing that right. I got to listen to the Close Assault. The History of War Games podcast has a whole series on the rules. I will be listening to that Close Assault. You just have to get within 5 inches of the enemy. I'm like reading this over again. All right, so then what happens? If both sides are inside the same building, so they're not in the building. I was saying I would think you wouldn't get it. Simultaneous with resolving the assaulting unit's fire, an unpinned enemy unit can fire back. Resolve this as normal without any order required. Note, the defenders get their bonus. Okay, but they do not get the grenade bonus. Okay, so now I figure out what happens after you hit. If casualties inflicted, check unit morale. I check unit morale. Oh, I got to take 4 guys out of that. Did not take the bar out, of course. Okay, so now they're in the building. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? You think you would treat them as in the building? I would almost think you got to treat them as they're assaulting the building. I would think the Germans would be, unless you rolled surprise, but they don't have that. That'd be an interesting thing to add as a little house rule for certain scenarios. But I mean, they were upstairs. It was like they're assaulting that building, but they couldn't fire that first turn. So I wonder if you would give them that save. I don't know. That's some questions I had. If you're assaulting a building, I mean, it says here, it sounds like you would have differences. Yeah, you'd get that difference. All right, so I just roll 1d6, and this will tell me what my unit morale is. And when do I take a battle rating counter? Battle counter taking unit. Oh, hold on. Germans lost a unit, so they need to take a battle rating counter. So when a unit's destroyed, you take 1. And that was a unit. Ammo low. Ooh, ammo low. So you have special things, not just numbers. I think this is unit destroyed. You rally. You're under air attack. You're under flamethrower. Senior officer destroyed. So that's cool. Out scouted. There were no scouts. Enemy captures an objective. Tactical coordination. So let's look at ammo low. An enemy unit is running out of ammunition. This counter is immediately played on an enemy infantry unit or deployed gun. If played on a gun, that would have been nice to play on those. So let's, there's only 1 unit on the table. It's supposed to play it immediately. So you place it on them. I roll a die. I get a 4. Out of ammo. This unit cannot fire again until resupplied. Okay, well, I did not use supply. So do I just say, oh, at 6, he would have left the field of battle. All right, so I didn't do supply. So the question is, and so another question, does the ammo logo back in there or not? I'm going to say no, it doesn't. Because the numbers don't go back in there. Maybe just roll on the table, and like 1 through 3 they get it back, because in that case the ammo table, because I didn't use supply. So that's kind of an interesting thing they have here. They have like supply vehicles, or maybe I could say I mean, it makes sense because they're airborne and they dropped in there. Should have provided supply through canisters or something. That's interesting. Maybe I wait till the leader gets to them. So I'm going to do that till the senior leader gets to them. They can't do anything, so they can't fire. They can. I assume I'll say they can defend themselves. Although maybe not. It just cannot fire again until resupplied. Holy crap, dude! All right. Morale for the 5, so they're fine. So I look on the chart, infantry, they're okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so then that. Okay. Cool. Boy, I feel like I did a lot of that wrong, but that's that unit. They just got, so the cool thing for the Germans is they didn't take any impact on that. Let's take a look here real quick at the bolt action scenario and see, man, these people paint good models. Sorry, I just was like, dang, dude. Wait, American scenarios. What? Oh, this is scenario 3, not scenario 1. Scenario 3. What is my objective here? Get rid of those 88s, but let's think here. The unit must eliminate the 88 guns and have units on both sides of the sun bridge and be holding it on or before the last turn before the German can destroy it. So again, 8 turns. We'll go with that. They destroy a gun. They do not. It's funny, they don't really tell you about how to do that. Gosh, how would you do that? What would be a good way of doing that? I would say you have to take it, and then we'll just use a morale test. 2+, you get it. There's probably some engineering rules or something you could look up. There's engineering in here, so let's see what engineering says if they have anything. And special rules 46. May attempt demolitions and mine clearing missions by using engineering order. Okay. May attempt it? What does that mean? Oh, I gotta go to the engineer section. Demolitions, blowing things sky high is one of the things. The engineer must move on to contact with the object. Building marker, this may. At the end of the engineering order, roll a d6. On a 2+, yeah, set and ready to blow. On a 1, there's still work to be needed. And any turn after that. Okay, oh, that's cool. So to set a demolition charge, these aren't engineer units, but they were made to do this. So, oh boy, it's almost midnight. Shoot. At the end of the engineering order, roll a d6. Need to keep track of the turn too. Turn 1. We'll say 8 turns. The Germans will blow it on. If I don't have the guns, I'm on. See what the game says here. Oh, there's victory points. That's interesting. So the Germans at the end of turn 8 will roll a die 1 through 3. They destroy it. So I have 9 turns to reach my objective. All right, so that's that. So that closest all happens. Again, I don't feel like that was all done correctly. Forget that pinning when they land. We'll just say they scatter. You know, you take a chance. So I think the Germans had, what did I have? 3 orders or 4? I can't remember that. Let's scroll again. So yeah, so I got 7 orders to do. So you have to spot in this game. I think, let's see, what do you think? Moving a gun. I don't think I put that in here. It's like a very light gun. There's no move order here. I think there's a rule for it though. Vehicle and gun profiles 55. I don't think that's it. They do have ammo rules in here, so you can keep track of your ammo in a tank, and if you run out, I'm not really going to worry about that a whole lot. The first few games, they say it's fun. It's a lot like that. When I run out of supply, I need to have some supply on there. Again, I'm not going to worry about that a whole lot right now. 17 movement. I love it that there's manhandled guns. Very light guns can be manhandled up to 2. Light guns can be manhandled up to 2. Medium guns and heavy guns cannot be manhandled at all. And this is a heavy anti-tank gun. They can be rotated. So I guess we'll say they can be rotated 90 degrees per turn. The question is, could they be rotated and fired? I'm fine with it. So they can't move this gun, but they could rotate it. So I would say they saw these guys come in, so they move. They're gonna rotate this way, so now they can fire that. This guy here. I'm going to make it so that this thing sits flat on the ground. This guy looks like dirt. I'm gonna post a video of the table setup, and I'll show the dugout why I built it this way. Anyway, so this guy sit flat on the ground. I think I was going to use a dice to show which way they're shooting. A little target or something like that. Oh, I got these little bolt action things here. We'll see, it's the, whoops, that's not what I wanted. So let's see if there's any well, let me do the German turn, see if there's any comments here. So I'm going to use this little marker here to show that it's rotated. This is in the building, so let me see if they can even see the building, because I think they can. Yeah, so they can. So they would turn and face the building. And this guy, I'm going from the center of the thing. I'm going to say they can't see that building. So they just basically turn this way. So they can see pretty much along that whole building, down the road, into the woods. I got to figure out what the vision for the woods is. I'm going to say they can't fire through those guys, obviously. So it's a little bit of a limitation there. Again, I'm not going to put that guy in the road. I think that's ridiculous. Medium machine gun. You can see that building. I mean, this wasn't a 2-story building right in front of me. I could see it. I mean, all I have to do is change that, is rotate this building. I'm trying to just do stuff to kind of make this a little bit more than you won't be able to see there. So maybe it doesn't. So it's up to. But I won't do that this time. It's an interesting thought, though. But in that building's, you know, you can see the other part of the building. So that's one command, 2, 3 commands. I can move. So also need to roll a die, and so I guess you roll a die. Let's look at reserves here, because I think it's kind of using it the same way. These reserves are going to kind of come in at various parts of the table. It's kind of hard to find things. I wonder if someone's made a. Orders. Ambush fire. You can use ambush fire, which is what I want to do, but I had to. I decided to move it so none of them get. So no one could ambush because they all moved. Here's infantry close assault. An infantry unit will attempt to move to within close assault range and engage enemy. Yeah, so then you have to use any experience test. Press the assault. The unit may move up to its normal movement allowance. Oh. This is interesting. So what they mean is, so you couldn't have moved 10 to close assault. To press the assault, the enemy unit may move up to its normal movement allowance and then conduct an assault against an enemy close. Only by using the close assault order does an enemy. Okay. All right. So we're gonna back up. Retake all that we did, because I want to try to play it semi-correctly. So these Americans would move to within 5. And we'll do that attack all over again. Now I could go back and say they did it in that turn, but I want to do it the proper way here. So, and that's what you get when you watch me learn a game. You get me taking back stuff. Now I could just go back because they're going to do the same thing the next turn, though these guys could move. So that's a question. And I was asking, so would they move from that building, knowing that these airborne infantry elites are going to close assault them? Or I could put them on ambush order. Can you fire on them? Only by using the close assault order does an infantry gain the close assault bonuses. Okay, hold on now. If an infantry unit uses the maneuver and fire order to approach the enemy, then he can still fire, but this is treated as normal firing with no assault bonuses. So you have to be within 5 inches. Well, in this case, I wouldn't fire. What a weird thing. Because maneuver and fire. Oh, you can fire as maneuver. Oh, okay. You wouldn't maneuver and fire because you're going to get into contact with them. This is very interesting. Any unit will attempt to move to within close assault range and move up to its normal allowance, and then, yeah, an infantry unit will attempt to move to within close assault range, which is 5 inches, and engage in enemy close assault. Wow, what a weird. Sorry, I'm going back and forth on this. And I was a little confused on the podcast when they were going through it. So then I could have done it that turn because I'm only getting within 5 inches of them. I also could have fired and moved, but then I would have had to have spotted them. But you still could have pinned them. So that's interesting. So if let's think about this. So if I'm within 10, so I was less than 10 inches away from them because I counted 5 and then I was like 4 or 4.5. So I could have moved 5 inches, been within close assault range, and then. So I could have moved and fired. Sorry. To press the assault, the infantry unit may move up to its normal movement allowance and then conduct an assault against the enemy unit. Only by using the close assault order does an infantry unit gain the close assault bonuses. If an infantry unit just uses the maneuver and fire order, I don't know why you wouldn't use fire and maneuver as well, to approach the enemy, then he can still fire, but this is treated as normal firing with no assault bonuses. Close assault is also used for infantry to attack enemy vehicles with anti-tank grenades. Boy, I gotta tell you, based on the stuff I've heard, I am confused. So I could have gone up there and close assaulted, because both things I read say when you're within 5 inches, you can close assault. So it really allows you to be 10 inches away. It says within. So you have to be like I was, 9.5 inches or whatever. I could use a battle group person helping me out like I've had some of the other games. Sorry, everyone having to watch this. Hey, Tabletop CP, I know you're probably gone because there's only 2 people watching, so thanks. So again, Dan, if you're still watching, or anybody that wants to, I don't think it's necessarily as confusing as I'm making it seem to be, but just reading that as I'm reading it, one of the orders I could give them, I will attempt to move within close assault range and engage the enemy in a close assault. So my order is infantry close assault. I gotta see if there's some errata or something on this, man. In order to press a close assault, you have to roll a d6. So that's interesting. So to press the assault, the enemy unit may move up to its normal movement allowance 5 inches and then conduct an assault against a single enemy unit. Only by using the close assault order does the infantry gain the close assault bonuses. If an infantry unit just uses the maneuver and fire order to approach the enemy, then he can still fire, but this is treated as normal firing with no assault bonuses. Okay, well, let's look at ambush. All right, so in this case, so the Germans could put these guys on ambush, and when they close assault, they could attack them as they approach the building. So as the American, I would know that. I'm 9.5 inches away. I know I can get within 5 inches when I say when I close assault. Because I'm trying to get within 5 inches. So I did, and that attack would have gone into place as I redo what I said. So a bar, I think they lost 4 guys, right? And they lost 5, yeah. And they lost 4. So here I am back paddling again, going back to the Germans. So again, well, okay, so then I could maneuver and fire this gun, rotate it, and fire it. So that'd be 1, 2, 3. They're not going to do anything. I need to figure out how to do reserve move. So, all right, so that gun turns. Aimed fire. So first I have to spot them. I set the roll of 4+ for aim fire. Or I can do a area fire. Which I cannot do. I would not shoot an armor-piercing shell at it. So I can either area fire to that building or I can aim fire. Well, I'm going to try to aim fire. To hit the table here. And I rolled a 2. It was a lusting on a 4 and didn't do it. So they didn't spot him. So, oh my gosh, that dice doesn't want to be where it's supposed to be. So that's 1, 2, 3 orders. So now let's figure out how to reserve. And it's now midnight, so it's time for me to be in Betty Pie. So, oh, it said by the rules of the scenario. You get a chair in here. So attack defense. It's kind of needing to roll the number of dice. So let's use the rules here, but I think senior officer gets a special thing here. I need to put the special rules down on my little army list thing. He's not on the tabletop, so that doesn't matter. So turn 2. Oh, that's turn 2 random reinforcement, so that does not happen yet. So I have commanded all my guys to do something. I think I'm done. So that'd be turn 2. So I'm going to stop here. Turn 2. So I say, we got some stuff to look up. All right. So thank you all for joining. That was a long first turn, but you know how it goes when you're learning the game. Let me see if there's any questions or comments. Dan, Tabletop CP, and the invisible person who watched, thank you very much. I'll talk to you all later. It's been let's see when I started doing that. Hold on here. 75 minutes ago. Perfect. All right. Hey, all. Thank you so much. We'll chat at you later. If you have a channel, post videos. Let's see them. I know Tabletop CP. Dan, I think I've asked you this several times. If you do, I don't know. Actually, I think I can check here. You got a good picture, so I bet you do. Go to channel. Yes, Dan does have channel. Dan does have videos, and I am not subscribed. I am not subscribed to Dan. So he's on AWI. Some bolt action. I'll have to go check out what you're doing AWI because that's something I've considered doing. Your channel looks familiar. I wonder why I wasn't. That's weird. All right. Anyway, I'm subscribed now. Dan, B-U-M-A-N. Bowman. Thanks, Dan, for making videos. We'll chat at you guys later and gals. But right now, the Americans have 4 command, have taken 4 battle rating. The Germans rolled a low ammo, pulled low ammo. I have 8 turns. I will flip this over to turn 2. And the next thing to do will be to roll for initiative. Not initiative, I'm sorry. Orders for the Americans. See y'all. Thanks.